Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. So we have the fourth in the series of X Awakens quests, and so I thought I would take this time to kind of look back at all of the X quests, 1 through 4. And yeah, before I say anything more there, I'd just like to kind of shout out to one of my other YouTubers, and that is Scottnack. I am not doing videos about the JP game directly yet. I will be doing that from August. But Scottnack has started to do that now, and yeah, they're very useful tutorials, kind of shows you what's different about the JP game. So yeah, there's that void in my videos, and you can certainly look at his to get some information there. I'll put a link to his channel in the notes, so please check that out. Okay, anyways, getting back to the X Awakens series. These are like remixes of old drop monsters, and then yeah, there are 4 of the series. You have to wait for them to roll around, and then you play it, and then you have a chance at an EX stage after the stage to play and then get the drop of one of the 2 or 3 monsters. Some are rarer than others, so you'll have to play it multiple times, but a lot of them are very worth getting, and many of them are better than their original versions. Also, their original versions, you can use them to raise the luck of the X versions, and then all the original ones are in the library, so you can get started on making the max luck of them now. You could do it for the regular version, and then when the X version comes around, get the drop of that, and then fuse whatever luck you have of the regular into the X, and then you'll raise that X version's luck. And then also, each of these monsters, they can, if you make the double max luck of them, they can have an ableberry. So when I talk about these monsters, I'll also talk about recommended ableberries. Okay, but anyway, let's get started at the look. First is Inati X, and he is not very good. The blast bump combo is nice, but there's no null ability. And because of the recovery S on the gauge is very fast. So yeah, not very good to use and also difficult to use, so I can't recommend him. Next is Bahamut X, however, and this guy is very good. He is a power type, so his attack is very high. He has a Minesweeper, which is very rare for a water drop monster, and Demon's Bane, which means he does extra damage on demons and mancers, of which there are a lot. And then he's got a strong bump combo, the one-way laser. This only goes straight up, so you have to work on the positioning a bit there. And then he has a meteor strike shot, one of the most powerful meteor strike shots that a drop monster has. It's even more powerful than some impossible monsters. So yeah, lots of good about Bahamut X. Let's see, good ableberries for him would be maybe a Strike Haste, so you can get his Meteor Strike shot out sooner, or a Sidekick ableberry to power up his one-way laser. And then his original quest for Bahamut, is not that difficult at all. You could even take a Sanctuary Dragon as your max luck, and that would work fine there. So yeah, that is Bahamut X, very highly recommended. And next up is Nunarihyun X, and her I can also recommend. She is a bounce with a null warp, and there are a lot of wood monsters with that sling style null ability combination. But she's the only one with a Deity Slayer, so she gets that niche to herself. Also, her stats are pretty crazy. HP is tank status, attack is fine with a gauge on top of that, and then with the Deity Slayer on top of that, even more damage. And speed is pretty respectable for a bounce type. She also has a very strong strike shot. It's the tackle strike shot. And yeah, she is especially good for Izanagi and Izanagi 0, so she could be a good max luck for those. As for ableberries good for her, I would say Kin Strength to take advantage of that Deity Slayer. And this goes for all drop monsters, but Cutthroat, and then Survivor would be good, I think. So yeah, that is Nudarihyun X, and the stage for Nudarihyun, the regular Nudarihyun, pretty easy, and you could also take Sanctuary Dragon into there as well, so yeah, it could be a good early wood null warp max luck. Okay, and we will scroll down here, and then let's look at Tiger 1X. And this one is also pretty well recommended. This is a bounce with a null gravity barrier. Stats are very good in the HP and speed categories, not very good in attack. Her attack is high enough that she can go to Tsukuyomi and take down the little guys in one hit, but she's not going to do a lot of damage to the boss, so that's kind of a demerit. The Blast Bomb combo is really good, especially since her speed is so high. She can get around well, get out bump combos on her turn, and then other characters can hit her on their turn to get out their bump combos. So yeah, very good support character, not a good source of damage. And then again, I would say Survivor or Cutthroat. I wouldn't really recommend giving her kin strength since it wouldn't make that much of a difference anyway. But yeah, that is Tiger 1X. And Sanctuary Dragon could also go to this quest, although it might have trouble doing damage to the boss. And then next is Solowing X, and this guy is really, really good. Stats are very good. Speed is so-so, but the other two stats are very good. And bounce, no gravity barrier means he'll have a lot of use in a lot of different stages. And light resistance, which is a pretty crazy ability for a drop monster to have. And yeah, if dark or light characters have any weakness, it's that they take extra damage from the opposite element. With light resistance, that weakness is taken away. So Solowing X can go into light missions, do extra damage, but not take extra damage himself. And yeah, he is good for some impossible missions. I think most famously is Karuma. But yeah, very solid, really good to have early game too. And a strong bump combo, the Tackle Strike Shot, which does more damage than it probably should. Good able berries for him. I would say that Survivor is especially good for him. That cuts damage taken, since it stacks with the light resistance. So he can really cut down the damage he takes, especially in light missions. So yeah, that is Solowing X. And also Sanctuary Dragon could go to him. Might have a little trouble doing damage. Same reason as Tiger, since there are a lot of kind of shields and drones everywhere. Yeah, if you had some Pierce monsters, they would be better for those quests, but Sanctuary Dragon would be good enough. Okay, let's move to X Awakens 3. We'll look at a /X first here. Not terrific. I am a big fan of the one-way laser XL, but this one's more difficult to use because it points down. You start at the bottom of the stage and you need to work your way up. And then his null abilities, there are not any stages where those two null abilities are really necessary. I tried them out in Tsukuyomi 0. It didn't really work out. Not having null warp really hurt him, so I can't really recommend /X. Alright, but moving on, let's look at Bastet X. And this is really good. And she actually might be the best water bounce null damage wall max luck. And the reason for that is because of her bump combo, the lock-on Pierce Wave. Basically, any drop monster with this bump combo I will recommend. It does good damage, and it also pierces, so it can hit many guys on the same turn. And her mission is pretty easy. You can take a Sanctuary Dragon as your max luck, no problem. And yeah, I would recommend this version over the dark version, the standard Bastet. Because this one has a specific impossible that she would be good for, which is Ashura. And yeah, good able berries for her. Sidekick would be really good if you could get that on her. buff up that lock on Pierce Wave. Or Survivor especially, since Ashura does a lot of damage. So yeah, that is Bastet X. Okay, next up is Da Vinci X, and her I really like too. Pure Snow Warp with a Sprite Slayer. There are a few wood monsters that are pure Snow Warp. I still think Da Vinci X is she is the best in the global game, and maybe best or second best in the JP game right now. But one reason she's really great is she has the Meteor Strike Shot. Not too powerful, but a good way to clear a field of little guys. And a Homing Piercer bump combo, which is actually pretty rare for a drop monster. And then she is really great for Nirai Kanai, the Colossal Quest, which is one of the reasons why she's really great. Able berries for her, I would say Style Kin Strength. Because she is a Pierce, she can upgrade the strength of all of the other Pierces on your team. And then in Nirai Kanai, most people do take an all-Pierce team. And that also increases the strength of her Meteor Strike Shot. So that would be my top recommendation for her. Of course, Cutthroat or Survivor, also good. And yeah, her quest for the regular Da Vinci, it's a little bit on the difficult side. Unless you are using Izanagi and Takayasha. Those two drop monsters in particular make that mission easier. You could take Sanctuary Dragon in there, but it wouldn't be too effective. Okay, so now let's move on to X Awakens 4, and this is Iron Fan X, and her I would say she's not great, especially since Tiger 1X is also in this series of X's. Another bounce with null gravity barrier. The thing really going for her is her bump combo, because it is a blast type, and then she is a Fiend Slayer. So against Fiend bosses, that bump combo could be pretty strong, but I don't think that's a good enough reason to use her. If you wanted a null gravity barrier Fiend Slayer, I would recommend, who is it, Marie Antoinette Ascension, because she is a Pierce, so she can get hits on the boss's weak point more easily. So yeah, Iron Fan X I would not recommend too much. I would instead go for Tiger 1X. Okay, and finally is Isun X, and this one is very cool, I think. Picks up a null damage wall from the regular form, which is awesome. No null ability from before. The Demon's Bane gets downgraded to Demon Slayer, but that's not too much of a big deal, since there are not too many Mancer enemies out there. Speed and HP are pretty good. Attack is fine. Not great, actually. But he does have the Demon Slayer, so he can get good damage in those stages especially. He has a Meteor Strike Shot, which is pretty great considering how fast he is. He can hit lots of guys. And then I would say actually that he is the best bounce null damage wall, especially for beginners, of either dark or light element. In the JP game especially, there is no Cthulhu to get very early in the game. I would say that Isun is a good replacement for Cthulhu as a very early bounce null damage wall max luck character. And then his mission is also super easy. There are gravity barriers and warps, but you can really bring anybody, and a Sanctuary Dragon would be just fine. So yeah, if you get Isun X very early, he could be a very good second max luck even, right after Sanctuary Dragon. As for Able Berries good for him, I would say Kin Strength above anything else. That would really take advantage of his Demon Slayer, and then also improve the strength of his Meteor Strike Shot. But yeah, Isun X, one of the most highly recommended, I would say, in these X series. Okay, hopefully that was helpful, and we'll see you again. Take care.